Stopping the pick and roll in NBA 2K24 is the most important defensive decision that you will have to make to get success in the game. And with the shooting update, which made shooting much more easy in NBA 2K24, trying to guard the pick and roll just became a little bit more difficult. But in this video, I'm going to discuss the strategies that you want to use to shut the pick and roll game down completely. I'll go through different defensive coverages that you want to use and one specific coverage that I think you should be using. But my first tip is to check your ego out of the door. We all know that ideally we'd all be playing on-ball defense, but the way people dance behind the screens in NBA 2K24, getting stuck on that one screen is going to be death. As you can see right here, that was a late screen that got me jammed. Fortunately, he didn't hit the shot. First pick and roll, we defended really well by showing some great help defense. But as you can see right here, people will really burst out, set a late screen, and get you caught up. Now I'm going to show you some defensive coverages that are going to be important to avoid this situation. But there is one setting that I need, and this is important. I need you to go to your coach's settings, go to team communication, and then turn that on for defense only. This is important. Without team defense communication, you'll basically be guessing what the AI is doing on defense, leading to miscommunication and easy baskets for your opponent. Turning team communication on is going to be important on defense so that you're able to respond very quickly. As you can see right here, we know to switch, and therefore I'm able to respond correctly and do the proper rotation. So while I'll be teaching you different defensive schemes to use against the pick and roll, the reality is you're going to have to mix these coverages up, make sure that you're not predictable on defense, and making sure that you're able to be flexible in how you respond to a different situation. Sometimes you'll go on ball, sometimes you go off ball, and sometimes you'll be switching different types of tactics. So first, if you're going on ball, you want to go over screens, especially against guards who can hunt for three-point shots. You want to navigate screens by going over, but the important thing is you have to let go of the defensive stance modifier button. In this case, in the PS5, it's L2. Releasing that defensive stance allows you to push forward as I do right here, and then slip past the screen and not getting caught in that contact animation, allowing us to stick close to James Harden. Holding L2 will move you slower and allow you to get jammed up. And from there, it's all about making the right rotations, using the proper defensive mechanics, and not fouling. However, playing defense against the pick and roll is a relentless affair that doesn't stop. People will keep calling pick and roll plays to you, so it gets very difficult trying to navigate around screens, especially when people are left-righting. So there's a disadvantage in going on ball against screens. The first defensive coverage that you want to consider is by going on a drop defense. Now, the drop defense allows your center usually to protect the paint, as I do with Kareem right here. I'm going to bait SGA into a contested mid-range jumper, but it also allows me the flexible to rotate back to Chet Holmgren, as I do right there, and protect the paint. You can also do a high drop for guys that want to shoot from the perimeter, and as you can see right there, we were able to recover quickly and protect the paint. You can also use switching defenses to immediately contain the two-man action and not relying on help defense and rotations. Now, to switch between two defenders, you want to hold X on the PS5 or A on Xbox. This will tell your defenders to switch, and as you can see right here, it's contained rather easily. Switching defenses allow you to contain the two-man action and not having to put the help defense in rotation. I contain James Harden right here with Wilt Chamberlain, and James Harden switched onto Kareem to prevent the roll. Now, the challenging part is that they may try to attack the mismatch, but at least you now contain the two-man action and the triangle cut, the backdoor cut. That's a different video right here. So as you can see from the switch right here, he recognizes I switched. Kareem or Wilt Chamberlain on Paul George, and that's just an easy bucket. You'll have to live with that. But my preferred defensive system for containing the pick and roll is by putting 3 defenders on 2, using help defenses, and going on rotation. I do that right here by controlling Kevin Durant. I leave LeBron just a little bit to see what he does. Fortunately, that pass is late, allowing me to go back on rotation and contain that drive. Second time here, I go on help using Kareem. I'm willing to let Kareem shoot a 3 from the corner, but I'm also able to rotate very quickly and then use help defenses and rotations to shut the rest of the offense down. So you always want to send help from the other side of the screen. The con here is that you'll have to make important decisions on how to manage your rotations. So really good offensive players will try to make the right read, send cuts backwards if you're being too aggressive on help. Now the challenge is for you to be able to respond and rotate the right way. As I do right here, I'm already sending help after that screen and I've contained the initial action. If they try to relentlessly keep on throwing screens at you, you have to be ready to rotate. And if you're overly aggressive in helping, as I do with Paul George right here, I show a little bit too much giving space to his Paul George and your rotations aren't on point, that's an easy 3-point shot. So the challenge is for you to send help, but don't be too aggressive, and if you are, send your rotation the right way. If you're slow, it will be an easy 3 points for your opponent. So in this play, I aggressively show help with James Harden right here, giving the wing player on the right an easy 3-point shot. I immediately go to Kevin Durant and rotate towards Lonzo, rotation again, and this one is just LeBron James being LeBron James. So it's important that you show help, but you're not too aggressive, as I do right here with Scottie Barnes. If he makes that pass, I'm able to rotate and recover very quickly. And if there's a breakdown defensively, you're gonna have to make the right read and rotate the right way. What this defense does is basically try to blow up the pick and roll and reduce the effectiveness of the ball handler and the screener, but your defensive rotations have to be on point. Because there are many ways to counter this defense, and that's going to be a topic for a different video. I'll show you different counters. As you can see right here, you have to make sure to force your defenders to commit and then punish the rotation if they're too slow. You have to be on your toes at all times to see who's going backdoor, to see who's open, and for you to send the help rotation at the right time. So why I'm using this defense a lot is because I know people are now resorting to dancing around screens and hitting a lot of faders and leaners, especially if you're using guys like SGA. It's also easy at this stage of the game when you don't have too many stretch bigs right now in my team specifically. But once those stretch bigs come out and you have 5 guys who can stretch the floor, it's going to be a little bit more difficult and you'll have to be a little bit more creative. Maybe you want to do some switching defense. Maybe you want to mix things up a little bit more. But these are the ways that I've found success to contain the pick and roll. And this isn't a defense that doesn't have any weaknesses. It really has to rely on your ability to make those reads and right rotations. And as you can see from these clips right here, this is me basically punning the pinch defense, as a lot of people refer to this defense. It's actually the Celtics pick and roll defense. Ime Udoka uses a lot against the Warriors in the finals. But basically, it's an aggressive help defense that will rely on your ability to punish those rotations. Sometimes you have to reject the screens, move away from help, and that's the natural counter in finding success against this help defense system. So this isn't everything you can do to defend the pick and roll, but for now, this, in my opinion, is the best way to guard the pick and roll. So hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments section below, and I'll see you in the next one.